Let's welcome to the Davison Family Dentistry Newsmaker line, political strategist and Young Voices commentator, Elizabeth Grace Matthew is on the line this morning. Elizabeth, welcome to Iowa Radio. Good morning.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
So, Elizabeth, obviously the question here from a political standpoint is this in fact a wise move for the Republicans? What do you think?
You know, I think that this is why there's a conversation. There's two sides to this question. You know, Article 1 of the Constitution does give the House the sole power to bring charges against federal officers, including the president. And it is true that the Constitution offers no specific guidance on rules for impeachment inquiries. So an inquiry can be brought without an initial resolution, which is probably what we'd be talking about here. And so you have some people that want to go forward with that, and you have other people that think it would be better to have a clearer resolution and more concrete evidence before going forward.
What I like about what you just said, Elizabeth, is this is often, when we think of impeachment, maybe some people say, well, it's a criminal charge against the president. But then you think back to President Trump, who was impeached over that phone call, involving Ukraine. It really is a political process, isn't it?
Yes and no. I mean, I think, yes, it is a political process, but it is meant to be the case that obviously the House goes through an impeachment. The Senate then has the power per Article 1 to try the executive, and, per Article 2, if there are grounds for impeachment, the removal from office for treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors would be as well the purview of the Senate. So, I think that it is meant to be a process that, as we know from the fact that it needs majority and then 2/3 support, meant to be an overwhelming, amount of evidence and clarity. But at the same time, it is true that an impeachment inquiry is not the same as removal from office. And a lot of people don't necessarily understand that.
At the same time, Elizabeth, let's think of the future here, because I know that supporters of President Trump are furious over the impeachments. And I know that they're calling for Biden to be impeached. And that there's a lot of, in politics now, a lot of a revenge game going on. One of my concerns is going to be that it becomes a normal part of our political process going forward. Oh yeah, you did this, now I'm going to do that, and we're going to start just thinking that impeachment's just going to be part of our political process going forward. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that's definitely the concern among those who are urging caution here. Remember that there have only been 4 impeachments in the history of the country, right? 2 of them of President Trump, and the other 3, President Andrew Johnson, Richard Nixon, and then Bill Clinton. And so, these are only 3 proceedings quite many years apart. And so the unprecedented nature of back-to-back impeachments combined with our political polarization is cause for concern.
Right. And wouldn't you think that we're talking impeachment inquiry, and Elizabeth, you've done a great job of talking about what that actually means. You could continue to just have oversight hearings and continue to bang away at the Bidens without calling it an impeachment inquiry, couldn't you?
You can, yes. I think the argument among those who don't want to do that is that they may be able to get greater access to documents if they have that documentation of an impeachment inquiry. But there are those that would disagree with that, too. So I think that there's, the disagreement here is substantive, and, the side urging caution is really about the long-term view for the country, I think.
Right. That is a political strategist and commentator for Young Voices. That is Elizabeth Grace Matthew. Elizabeth, thanks very much for talking to me. You can